Well, Rebel fans, UNLV takes down Air Force 67 to 39 in what was a game with a lot of good and a little bit of bad, but overall a solid performance for your running Rebels. I just got home. Let's break down it all. Let's break it all down. This is the Let's Run podcast. Everybody, welcome into the show today. I am grateful to have you. Really nice polo I got on here. I've been loving this shirt that I wore to the game today. Really fun performance. Just great times. I was able to bring my daughter, my 2-month-old daughter, to her first ever Rebel game. That was a blast. I was able to be there with my family and my wife, who hadn't come to a game for a while. So ultimately, just really good times. Really grateful, and a really fun performance, especially from guys like Tyron Jones, who was outstanding today. But first, let's break down the stats of this one. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the road ahead for your running Rebels. All right, so UNLV is in this game. Here, let me pull up the Ken Palm stats real quick. I thought it was a nice crowd today. Overall, everybody seemed pretty happy. Everybody was in a pretty good mood walking out of the game, and specifically, I think the defense, a team playing well on the defensive side of the ball, can really inspire fans, even more so than the offense a lot of times. And the Rebels, a lot of it was Air Force, who is not a good team. I said this to my wife as I was walking out of the game. I thought this was easily one of the weakest Air Force teams that I've ever seen. And Air Force is a program, man, not just on the basketball side, but on the football side too. They've got a lot of things to figure out. Air Force has fallen off pretty hard, and I feel bad for the cadets at the academy, because that used to be a tougher program to play. Not to say that they can't beat you; they absolutely can. They still play a tough style of basketball to defend, but ultimately, boy, oh boy, was this Air Force team rough. UNLV was playing with their food a lot in this game, and this felt a lot like like one of those like quad 3, quad 4, or even lower level basketball programs that we were playing today, which is unfortunate for Air Force, because that's a program that has some pride behind it, especially with the military connection. Let's break down the stats for this one. So UNLV, the Air Force Falcons, I'll just briefly mention them. Leading scorer for Air Force was Lucas Haben. He was one of their better players. He definitely had some passion behind him. 1 of 7 from the three-point line. He finishes with 11 points. But none of these Air Force players, the only guy, I really just didn't think any of them played very well. Air Force shoots a paltry 15% from three, 12 of 35 for 34% from the field. Air Force scored at 0.6 points per possession, which, if you're unaware of how you measure college scoring, you always do it kind of by how many points does your team get on average for every possession that they have. 0.6 points per possession is awful. If you had a season of that, it'd be the worst season in the history of recorded stats of college basketball. Air Force could not score. They also had 13 turnovers on 9 assists. Air Force got 32 rebounds total, so they were struggling on the boards. Although, if you wanted a bright spot for Air Force, they did get a 8 offensive rebounds, which I thought was, they got too many offensive rebounds, to be honest with you. They really shouldn't have gotten as many as they did, but they didn't get as many as I thought they did, actually. I thought watching the game that Air Force had gotten more offensive rebounds than that. They didn't foul a ton, only 16 personal fouls on the game. Not a ton of free throws. They only gave up 20 to UNLV, but boy, oh boy, that program's struggling. Now for the Rebels, let's go over the players individually. I'll go from who I thought had the best game to who didn't quite play as well. UNLV's best player in this game was absolutely Tyron Jones. He finishes in 28 minutes with 14 points, 7 of 10 from the field. He did go 0 of 5 from the free throw line, which is pretty bad. Pretty disappointed by that. He finishes with 6 rebounds, two blocks, one steal, no turnovers, and only one foul. Tyron Jones had what was maybe the dunk of the year for UNLV, where Isaac Williamson basically threw a pretty ambitious pass to him, cutting towards the rim, and Tyron Jones just caught it. It was kind of thrown behind him, and Tyron Jones threw down a dunk of epic proportions. In fact, if I can show you guys a highlight of that, I think I will. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Tyron Jones, he's kind of like a taller Derek Jones Jr. And honestly, the more that I see him play, the more impressed I am with him. He oftentimes is honestly like the best player on the floor for the Rebels. Oh my goodness, I hadn't seen this angle of the dunk, but I think I might have to show you guys this. So it's a pretty ambitious pass. Here comes Isaac, throws the ball. Look at this. So there's two guys around him. He's got a player in front of him. The pass is thrown kind of behind him, and Tyron dunks it over number 21 on Air Force. That one of the, I mean, easily one of the best dunks that we've had at UNLV in the last decade or so. Just an just outstanding play by Tyron Jones. So anyway, just can't give him enough credit. Howie Fleming led the team in minutes. He finished 34 minutes, 10 points, had 12 rebounds, all defensive rebounds. So if you're wondering why the rebounding for guys like Tyron, Kamani, and Jacob Benarbi, although Jacob Benarbi did have 10 rebounds as well, but Emmanuel Steffens, if you're wondering why maybe they didn't have as many rebounds as they could have, it's because Howie Fleming was gobbling up defensive boards. So good to see him crashing the boards. Finishes with 10 points, did make a three, had a nice mid-range jumper that the Rebels needed to kind of jig that zone out of its rhythm. Finishes 3 of 4 from 2, had a couple of nice pushes to the basket. 2 turnovers. Those were both pretty bad turnovers, 3 assists. Howie's kind of just turned into a glue guy. He's fit into his role a little bit better. I think perhaps that game versus Memphis where he scored 25 points, a lot of these players early on in the season had games where they were scoring a ton, individual games where they were scoring a ton. And so to see him kind of assume his role as a glue guy where he doesn't have to score 25 points, he can score 10, but he can also get 12 rebounds and get a bunch of assists. I think that really is a good role for Howie. Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, he finished with 12 points, 3 of 5 from 2, 2 of 5 from 3, had 1 rebound, 3 assists, so 1 turnover, had a really nice block. I thought Dre had a fine game. Nothing spectacular, but really solid. Kamani had a pretty rough game, to be honest with you. Kamani in 26 minutes had 6 points, only 1 of 5 from the 2-point line, 0 of 3 from 3. Did make 4 free throws. Had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 block, and 4 fouls. So some of this was foul trouble, obviously, but not a great game for Kamani. I would expect a little bit more from him because he had such a physical advantage over so many of the guys he was playing. But we didn't really need a great Kamani game tonight, or this afternoon, I should say. Jacob Benarbi, not a great game from him either. I mean, not a spectacular game from him. Just struggling to score. Couldn't really finish around the rim. Was struggling with his touch. And this has kind of been a trend for Jacob. But it should be noted that the offense plays, I think, better when Jacob's on the floor. It flows better. His passing is better. He's a better decision maker. Even though the stats may not reflect that this game, he did have Jacob did finish the game with 10 rebounds, so that's very nice. Did have 3 turnovers, which is rough, 2 assists. But I like the way the game flows when Jacob's on the floor. I thought he had a solid game. Isaac Williamson at 32 minutes in this one. He finished with 10 points, 3 of 9 from 2, 1 of 5 from 3, missed a free throw. Had 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Again, too many turnovers. The Rebels finished this game with 11 turnovers, and there was no reason for them to turn the ball over that many times against this Air Force defense. Emmanuel Steffen kind of had an odd game. I felt like he was in his head a little bit. He did finish with 8 points and 7 rebounds, but I don't know. I saw Coach Passner as the game was going say that Emmanuel looked a little out of it in this one, just not quite fully. His gears weren't quite working right. And I noticed that too. It's not that he was like playing dumb or anything. It's just that he wasn't quite in a good rhythm. I was kind of disappointed with Emmanuel Steffen tonight. Walter Brown got in there, hit a couple of free throws, got a couple of rebounds. Always good to see Walter get minutes. I like Walter Brown a lot. UNLV ends up finishing 67 to 39. UNLV shoots a, a solid 51% from the field overall, but a paltry, just putrid 4 of 17 from the 3 point line. This Rebel team, man, they have to find a way to shoot better. There just is no way around this, and there's no help coming. Miles Che, Laji Dembele, who Passner would say are two of his are honestly his two best 3 point shooters are not coming back this season. Both are done for the year. Really disappointed about Laji. It was nice to see him play early on in the season, but he just never quite looked right. And Miles, obviously, a big disappointment with Miles Che. But Coach Passner is he's going to have to figure something out. They have to shoot better threes. They have to shoot better from the 3 point line than this, or else teams are just going to pack the paint on them, and they're not going to play teams as weak as Air Force every night. Because this Air Force team was gosh bad. They were terrible. UNLV ends up only shooting 23% from three. In terms of everything else, their assist rate was fine. Their turnover rate wasn't too bad, just because of the sheer number of possessions that they had. And ultimately, I don't want to celebrate this performance too much because I don't feel like they performed as well as they could have. But um, very happy with this one, guys. I am. I'm very happy with this one. And I'm excited to see kind of what this team looks like on Tuesday as they travel to Laramie to play in Laramie, Wyoming. A couple of comments here. My favorite thing about this season is more and more fans believing in the team today was the best crowd. Yeah, I thought the crowd today was pretty good. Really nice environment. It was very positive. Very people felt happy, which was nice to see. Our Vegas is blinking. It'll be 2 years. Glad your first game together was a win. Yes, absolutely. Daniel Ormsby, JD. Good to see you, Daniel. He said solid performance overall. Yeah, you can't complain about holding a team to 39 points. I'm sure you're very happy about the Cougars taking down Kansas State today too. Noah, good to see you. Noah says, "Why don't we have 15 scholarship players like everyone else?" It was a budgetary issue with the school, not necessarily the money, but because of Title IX, you have to have certain numbers of scholarships apportioned to male and female athletes. And the school had made some promises to other programs. It's a mess. It's not going to happen next year. UNLV will have 15 scholarship players next year. But certainly this team needs another guard so bad. And I wish that instead of, as much as I like Walter, I kind of wish that we had picked up another point guard because this team just needs a guard. It should be noted that Al Green and Niles Cunningham were not available to play today because of the flu. There was a bunch of guys on the team with IVs before the game because they were so dehydrated because of this flu. And look, I was dealing with the flu earlier this week as well. There's been a nasty sickness flying around. I'm still not 100%. I feel fine. I made sure I tested negative for everything. But boy, oh boy, this flu season has been no joke this year. And it has really, really caught people. So overall, very happy with this one, guys. I'm planning on doing some sort of live stream maybe tomorrow. I want to do something to talk about UNLV football, the portal, kind of what's going on there. And I want to talk a little bit about the targets that UNLV is making and going after, and specifically the offensive and defensive coordinator situation. So I might do something tomorrow night along those lines. But really fun stuff really fun stuff tonight, guys. So I have to get going. I've got a lot of things to do tonight, but I appreciate you guys all for checking out the show. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope you guys all had good holidays. And just God bless you all. So I'll talk to you later, and let's run, Rebels.